Isn't that exactly what learning to trade is like? You can't just focus on one thing to be successful. There's a ton of moving parts on Wall Street. Then you start getting into the charting. You become more technical, more savvy. You've got moving averages, RSIs, MACD, stochastic indicators, oscillating indicators. All of them have to be paid attention to. Guys, that's what we're doing here. This is the Stocks with Josh show. I'm going to be talking about a lotto trade that I'm going into earnings this Wednesday. It's a popular stock. We're going to do a brief overview of crypto, and I'm going to cover perhaps one of the most important indicators on Wall Street, and that is the Apple indicator. What's happening with the Apple stock? You got to remember, Apple stock is a beloved company. It's a well-run company. It's one of the best companies in the world. It's the largest company in the world, and so people are going to be looking at how it's performing. Right now, I've talked about it before, it's giving us a very ominous head and shoulders pattern that if we actually close beneath 180, then it means that the entire market may be done going up. But on the opposite side of that coin, if we get some serious momentum and we bounce in that 180 price zone, it could be indicating that we're getting ready for the next leg up. A lot of people trying to go against these markets are going to get crushed. And that's been the case for all of 2023 and all of 2024. So as the market has cooled off, as some stocks in big tech have cooled off, Google's one of them coming back to key support at $138, Apple coming back to key support at $180. Is this all just setting up for the next big leg up in these markets, or is this the beginning of a massive sell-off? Okay, let's quickly get into the crypto heat map for a minute, guys. It's a beautiful day. It's all green. I love to see that field of green in crypto. Bitcoin in particular is still hovering above 50,000. We're sitting at 51K today, and it's holding up very well. And this is one of the reasons why I'm going to be looking at Mara, Marathon Digital, and some of the other minor stocks going into this week, because Mara is reporting earnings Wednesday after market close. So let's begin to break it down a little bit. I'm going to give you guys some news headlines that I want us to digest. Marathon Digital Holdings upgraded to buy, and here's why. So this article basically breaks down that Zacks has upgraded Marathon Digital to a buy from previously being a hold, and the primary reason that they did it is because there's been a very consistent and steady revision of earnings estimates to the upside, which means that slowly over time, when you begin to see that a company is experiencing more revisions to the upside, the likelihood is they're getting ready to have a significant moment. In addition to that, and this is the more important detail, we're very close to the halving event. And then on top of it, Bitcoin is sitting at 51,000. These guys are huge holders of Bitcoin. While Bitcoin is holding up very well above 50K, it means that this might be one of the very best opportunities to see a breakout move in Marathon. And here's the issue that a lot of investors are having with Marathon. And it's the fact that they feel locked out. They feel locked out of Bitcoin and they feel locked out of Marathon. And let's be real, if either one of them were to climb more, then people would even have more FOMO, realizing that these things have gotten entirely away from them. And that's one of the reasons why I am taking a risk position going into this earnings, because I think that it's sort of a perfect storm of bullishness. Now, could they come out with bad earnings? Could they come out with a miss? The answer is absolutely yes. More often than not, these guys have not come out with beats over the last couple years. So they're not known for upside surprises on earnings. They're actually known for problem earnings, but this may be a different moment in time. This may be the exception to the rule because of, like I said, that 51K Bitcoin and the fact that a lot of people believe that they have higher revenue going into this earnings. But as always, that's the fundamental idea behind this particular earnings. But what are we going to be looking at? Well, we like the charts. In my mind, price is truth, and so we're going to be looking at the charts to make the big decisions and to know when to get in and when to get out. And I'm going to draw the line in the sand at $28.80. This is the price that if we push above, we're going to push all the way higher into the next price bracket above the current level. Now, resistance has largely been at the previous 52-week high, and if we do get a definitive move this second time that we're pushing up against $30, and that specifically is that $28.80 price, then we're going into an all-new momentum move higher. And again, People are going to be chasing it because they didn't get in it. And where could that up move possibly be going? Well, the bottom of that up move would be $32 and the top of it would be $40. And the middle of the range, the middle of resistance would be around 36. And so the truth is, anywhere between $32 all the way up to $40 could be the incoming move. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is that Mara has been doing what a lot of people, including myself, had expected it to do after the halving. It's doing it before the halving. Now, we have no idea what that means. Could it mean that we get back to all-time highs by the halving? Could it mean that when we get to the halving, it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, that things are going to cool off? I don't know. All I know is that if we were after the halving right now and looking at Mara, then a lot of people would have more bullish expectation that it was on its way to $36 to $40 because that always was the target for a Mara move, and it seems to be doing it sooner rather than later. And so it seems like the market wants to take these miners higher. If you take a look at the big picture view of the charts, it's above all of its moving averages, which is extremely bullish. What in the charts are you guys seeing that would cause you to believe that the Mara run is over or this is getting ready to flush down? The daily RSI is pumping. We're in bull territory. Now, here's what I think a lot of people are going to hear. They're going to hear Josh is bullish on the miners. It's time to go all in. No. I'm being realistic about the charts because I believe that the price is truth. The charts are indicating that this is on a bullish move and there's no big indication that it's coming to an end. They're bullish charts. And so going into this earnings with a consistently revised earnings estimate continuously climbing over time, that's the reason why companies like Zacks, who I mentioned at the beginning, that's the reason why they're calling them a buy, upgrading them. And it's the same reason why I'm bullish going into this earnings is that the risk to reward still points to the fact that you don't want to get locked out. You don't want to get locked out below $30 if this thing is going to $40, $60, or $80 in the next couple months. The big move on these seems to be happening sooner than later. The two that I like, Mara, I've always been a fan of Riot. I don't have as big a position in Riot as I do Mara and CleanSpark. Those are the two that I'm going into earnings with holding some calls. And here's the big warning, here's the big pump your brakes moment. The fact is that if earnings doesn't come out good and they miss this moment, support is down between $20 and $18, and that's where it would fall very, very quickly. And then we could spend the next couple months down in that valley before making another attempt above $30. This is absolutely a lotto moment going into earnings. I'm going to recap my 4 disciplines. You want to use a stop loss on every trade. You want to protect yourself from the downside. You want to trade the trend, and that's the number 1 point to today, which is the trend is bullish. So I'm going to trade the trend upwards on Mara and CleanSpark and Riot. You want to control your position size. It's similar to using a stop loss, okay? So those two are very protective. In some cases, the stop loss won't trigger. If on after hours or pre-market hours, your stop loss won't trigger. Well, the other way to control your risk is to control your position size. That's largely the way that I'm taking now. I do have a stop loss in, but largely I'm not going in a massive position that would cause me a lot of anxiety. I'm just simply trying to participate in the bullish charts. And then if this doesn't go your way, you got to be careful about revenge trading. That's the 4th discipline. So if you did make a mistake, if I'm making a mistake and I'm giving the miners the benefit of the doubt and they don't pop off, well, I've got to then let it go. Let it cool off. Don't attempt to catch the falling knife. I'm putting all the details of these charts in the Discord. If you don't know what the Discord is, it's the Stock Squad Patreon. Myself, Stockmo, Stock Up with Larry Jones, and Keenan Grace are providing technicals, trade alerts, and answering questions in there alongside a lot of other great traders. It's a wonderful community. Come click on the link that I leave in the top pinned comment. Come check it out for yourself. We have zero confirmation that the run in 2024 is over. And the fact is, I'm going to be watching that Apple indicator to see if we've got indication of bullishness continuing in this year. Guys, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. You've got to hit the subscribe button to keep getting these updates, to get these timely market, stock, and crypto updates, especially when we're in earnings season. I want to thank you guys all for joining me. Thank you for hitting the like. When you hit the like, you push the video out to more viewers. I really appreciate it. It supports the page. That's it for today. Peace and blessings. Talk to you soon.